Okay, good morning, everyone. Skixiotic. Thank you all so much for being here. My name is Rebecca Ronstadt Contreras. I am the Higher Education Administrator, and we are welcoming you to our April First Friday chat. Today we have representatives from Grand Canyon University who are going to be speaking to us about the opportunities available on their ground campus, online, scholarships, housing, food, and anything else that a college student dreams of learning about when you're thinking about going to college. So thank you so much. I'm going to let Joy start our presentation, and I'm going to, the rest of you can mute yourselves or turn your microphones off and pictures, cameras off, and I will spotlight you, Joy, and thank you again so much for being here. This session is being recorded and you can view it at a later date.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. My name is Joy. I am an admissions counselor here at Grand Canyon University, and I specifically work with Native American students in the state of Arizona, and I work specifically with high school students. So, anyone who's graduating right after high school looking to go into higher education, specifically here at GCU, I will be working with them from the moment they start their application all the way to their third week of classes here at GCU. So I get to have the privilege to work with talking about housing options, talking about scholarship options, making sure their schedule is correct, making sure that they're making the best decision for themselves in regards to degree pathways and what they kind of want to do. So today I have the pleasure of kind of talking more about housing. I am a GCU alumni and I was able to live on campus and I also was a commuter, so I can kind of touch on both aspects. But our housing on campus is definitely phenomenal. This year, our housing dorms have been actually rated top 5 in the nation. Woohoo! So definitely really beautiful campus, very safe. It is a closed campus. So I am going to share my screen and show you guys the housing brochure for this year. So is everyone good? Are you guys seeing my screen okay?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Perfect. Awesome. So I'm just going to show you guys what makes a GCU on campus living unique. So I kind of talked about how we are top 5 in the nation. So these are some points that make it really amazing to live on campus. So first and foremost, we are affordable and attractive accommodations. We do have dorms available. We have apartments available depending on what your preference are. Let's say you love cooking, I would recommend an apartment. And like, let's say you'd like to have that independence and just kind of want to stick to having your own room. We do have apartment options where you would be living by yourself. If you would like to be more social and you want to have roommates and want to meet new people, a more affordable option is living in a dorm. So I'm going to kind of show you guys the layout in a couple of other slides, but we do have affordable housing compared to a lot of other universities. So you can take a look at the pricing, but an apartment, the most expensive is about $4,000 per semester. And then our dorms are going to be less than that, so about $3,000 per semester for a double occupancy. We do have laundry facilities on each floor. I know that lots of high school students are going to be learning how to be independent themselves. So we have a laundry facility where they're going to be able to utilize their debit card or coins to do their own laundry. So it's definitely something that they are going to have to learn how to do unless they go to their parents' house during the weekends. But we do have laundry available. We do not have communal bathrooms. So, this is an amazing thing because I know a lot of universities have like one huge communal bathroom at the end of each hallway. The way our dorms and apartments are set up is that each suite has their own bathroom. So you'll be only sharing a bathroom with however many roommates you have. So let's say you are living in a dorm with one other student, then you'll be only sharing a bathroom with one other student instead of having to spend it with whoever is in the hallway could be 50 people, 60 people using the communal bathroom. So it's really convenient for students to just have a bathroom right next to their room. We have an open lobby for community. So this allows students from each of the halls. They have a lobby section, and we have RAs, which are resident assistants, and they are there to answer any questions. It's a good area. There's ping pong tables that students are able to just socialize and talk. There's TVs on the first floor, so if anyone just wants to hang out and have a fun time, the lobbies are available for the community in each halls and apartments. We do have outdoor courtyard for student activities. There's students, playing frisbee. Some people are setting up hammocks. So it's definitely a really fun place to be around. So I would definitely encourage any student to living on campus that they are knowing that they will have a fun activities that they can be a part of that each apartment and dorm actually puts on. So they're called community gatherings, and a lot of them are outside. It's a really, really awesome time to just come together. And then also, we kind of touched on that suite style living. So, how our dorms are set up is that you go in and there's like a living room, and there is no kitchen because it's not an apartment, but there is a room on each side, the left side and the right side. And then there is a bathroom on each sides of that suite. The apartments are about like a 4-bedroom apartment with 2 bathrooms. So definitely really spacious, and it definitely looks like a suite. So, yeah. Next, we're going to go into new student classification. So, in order to be an on campus living student, there are 2 different age groups, and they're grouped to live with between 17 and 19-year-olds together, and then 20 to 25-year-olds to live together. We do want to group them together just so that they're closer in age. And then also, there is an age limit to living on campus. So you do have to be younger than 26 years old to start living on campus before the academic term. If whatever reason you are older than that, you would have to find off campus housing. But this is definitely something to note. Also, you do need to be registered as a full-time student to live on campus. And what that basically means is that you do need to take at least 12 credits, and that's about 3 classes. So that is a new student classification. So if you are coming in doing your housing application, if you're between the ages of 17 and 19, those will be your roommates. And if you're over 20 and between 20 to 25, those will be probably your roommates. So you'll be in similar age groups. So, this is just a really cute picture of what our on-campus housing looks like. There is the QR code if you would like to learn more about our suite style accommodations. And this is a quick little picture of what it looks like to be in that apartment. You have that living room area, and then you have that full-size kitchen in the back. You don't see it, but there is a full-size fridge. We have a stove and an oven for our apartment. So if you guys have any students who love to cook, I would definitely recommend an apartment. All right. So we do have the suite style living options that we kind of talked about. So we're kind of going to go over each section. So a single occupancy is an apartment, and it's shared by 4 students. So this section, you're going to be able to see that this is that living area with that full size kitchen right here. And there's that fridge, the stove, and then there's the microwave and the oven. And then single occupancy means that every student gets their own room. It's 4 bedrooms, and they get their own closet, get their own desk, their own bed, and their mattress. Those are all provided. And then there's 2 bathrooms. And I love that they have the Jack and Jill sinks. And then 2 students will be sharing a bathroom together, and these 2 students would be sharing a bathroom right here as well. So it's really awesome, very spacious. There are linen closets right here as well. And if there are students who kind of like to be by themselves, they don't want to share a room with any other student, single occupancy is definitely the way to go. Let's say you like to be cozy and you don't really care if you want to cook or anything like that. We do have this double occupancy shared by 4 students as well. You come in, there's a living room. We call that the common room. We have a little sink net. We don't have that full-size kitchen, but there's a bathroom with the left side and the bathroom on the right side. And then the room, there are 2 students sharing a room together, and that's why it's called a double occupancy. And this walk-in closet, very spacious. Honestly, I think it's bigger than my own walk-in closet, so that I'm kind of jealous of my students. And then we have the triple occupancy. You'll see that the layout is just the same. The only difference is that one of these beds are stacked, and it's going to be 3 people sharing this room and 6 people sharing this common area. And this is for students who are like very, very cozy. They want to live with 2 other students in one room. And so 3 in total. So this is the triple occupancy. They do have different pricing ranges. So triple occupancy is definitely going to be the most affordable. And then single occupancy is going to be the most, it will have the highest cost. However, it's definitely on availability as well. So if a student does decide to live on campus, they do the whole registration process. Um, the longer you wait to complete housing, the less options you have. So I always encourage my students, if you are 100% on living on campus and you have made your decision, to complete your housing application as soon as possible. And this will allow you to ensure like what kind of housing you want to live in. There are students who wait really late in the summer to decide to go to college, and then what ends up happening is that they're stuck with maybe a triple occupancy because they couldn't finish their housing application earlier on. So that's something I let my students know. But yeah, so that is what our living options look like. So, what are your next steps as a new student when you want to live on campus? So, you would want to register for classes with your admissions counselor. And so, if you are a high school student right out of high school, you're a senior, you'll probably working with me. If there are any other students that are transfer students or gap year students, they will be directed to a different counselor. But they will be working with you to register you into classes and upload immunization records. The immunizations that we do require is 2 MMR and 1 meningococcal A immunization record. So those are the main ones that we're looking for. And then you are going to submit a housing application. It's really awesome. You actually kind of create your own profile telling what your preferences are, what your living preferences are. Let's say you are a morning person. I like to sleep with the fan on. I like to sleep with the light on. I'm a very clean person. I am not a very clean person. You want to be as transparent as possible at the housing application, and so that you can meet roommates that have really similar living preferences as you. So once you go ahead and complete your housing application, you get to see who your roommate can be, and you get to know more about your roommate, and you can start chatting with them. After that, you select a move-in appointment, and the move-in appointment is going to be during welcome week, which is the week before school begins. And you get to choose what day and time you would like to choose to come on campus to move all of your stuff in. You're going to print your move-in voucher. And lastly, you're going to move in during welcome week. So that is basically the steps for living on campus. One thing to note, we do have a non-refundable $250 housing application fee. This is non-refundable, meaning if you do whatever reason decide to not live on campus, you do change your mind, you won't be able to get that back. So I tell my students, be at least 90 to 100% sure that you want to live on campus before you pay that housing application fee, because I don't want you to lose out on that money. Let's say you do complete your housing application, there are deadlines on when you can terminate without a fee. So let's say you complete your housing application in the beginning of the school year. Let's say you're a senior and you decide to do your housing in December, and then a student decides they no longer want to come to GCU, they no longer want to live on campus, they can cancel their housing application. They won't get their 250 back, but they won't have a termination fee. If you do terminate your housing way past May, and because we've been holding your spot for so long, there is an additional termination fee. And all of those things are located in the housing application, so students will be aware of that. But I definitely let my students know not to do the housing unless they're about 90 to 100% sure. We do have lots of support in our housing community. I know that students moving out of, their parents' home, it could be their first time living by themselves from, if they've never been to a boarding school or anything like that, this is probably their first time moving out of their home. And so we have a lot of support. We do have a resident director. Those directors are full-time workers on campus that facilitate the entire building, and they train resident assistants. So, resident assistants are student leaders, and they live on campus making sure that students are um, they are in community and they are following the rules. They're making sure that they are good. So they will be checking up on you like a mentor. And these students are leaders, and they just are a resource for students to, create accountability. And they're really awesome, like a friend, but also a mentor that will help you transition into living on campus. So those are people that you can really rely on. Third, we do have life leaders, and life leaders are students who are also student leaders that host Bible study in each floor. Each floor and dorm does have a Bible study group. And if you do want to grow in your faith, you want to just have support, you want prayer, there are life leaders there for you. And both of these positions can be available your sophomore year. So, after your freshman year, if you'd like to apply for these leadership positions, there are significant scholarship opportunities available. So, that is super awesome. Public safety. This is our safety team here at GCU, and it is made up of police officers and GCU public safety employees. And they are here to make sure that the campus is 24 hours safe. And if there's anything going on, let's say you're wanting to have someone walk you from your garage to your dorm, the public safety team can help you with that. Let's say there's some sketchy things that are happening on campus, you can give them a phone call. Typically during welcome week, our resident assistants make sure that every student has public safety saved on their phone in case of an emergency. But our campus is a closed campus, so as long as you are affiliated with GCU, those are the only people that can come in and out of GCU. You can't just be a random person coming on our campus. So that is something that's very unique to GCU. But public safety is there in case you do feel unsafe, but they're monitoring the safety of our campus. Our facilities team. We do have a huge facilities team that keep our campus beautiful. We have people out of our campus always trimming our trees, gardening and everything like that. But even in our dorms and apartments, let's say like your bathroom is clogged, your shower is broken, something is not working, we do have a facilities team that you can actually make a request and they can come and fix it for you. So that's really, really awesome. And we're very thankful for our support services team. Eating on campus. This can be something that's very important to students. If you're not a cook, I definitely love cooking. But if you have any students that are not a big cook, you may be wondering, like, what am I going to be eating on campus? So these are all the options that we offer at this time. And our dining dollars is a dollar for dollar. So each student will have a meal plan they get to select from. And that a dollar for dollar means that if you get a $10 meal from Chick-fil-A, the $10 will be deducted from your overall meal card. And it's not about how many swipes you make a day, it's just basically how much money you spend in a day. So these are some options. There are some healthy options like Fresh Fusion. There is a farmer's market that you can get like fresh fruit and produce, which is awesome. I would say my favorite right now is probably Pita Jungle. They have really amazing salads and pitas. So there are some really awesome eating options, and yeah, they're all available, and you can use your dining dollars for that. So, parking on campus. If you guys have any students that are wanting to live on campus and are planning to bring a vehicle, we do have a parking permit fee. The parking garages is a covered parking. It's $300 for an entire school year, which is awesome. So it's 150 per semester, and you get to select which parking garage you want to park your car at once the parking permits are available. I tell my students once you get into housing, you probably want to choose a parking garage that's closest to you. So there are several parking garages available, and it's really awesome that it's covered because during the summer it gets really, really hot. So knowing that your car is in a garage, you'll know that it won't get a lot of sun damage, and it's just a safer spot. So really, really awesome. And there are students who do have motorcycles as well. So if you're planning to bring a motorcycle instead, the permit is 150. Think we kind of touched on the safety. We have a public safety team, and we are really, really grateful for them. We have 24/7 safety that our department allows, and these are some of the various systems that are in place in order for us to actually have a safe campus. So, something that's really awesome is this emergency blue light phones. There are emergency buttons all around campus. So, in case of an emergency and you feel very unsafe, there is a little button that you can press and it connects you to public safety. So, that is really, really cool. And we do have student care. And I know that, transitioning into adulthood can be very, very intimidating. But it really helps you to be independent, and it really shapes you into being a really strong individual and kind of become your own person. We do have an office that's available Monday through Friday in case you do want to get free counseling. So these are some of the services we do offer. We have individual counseling, group therapy, crisis services, and referral services. And these are available for all of our students, and it's completely free. It's just based on availability. So if someone wants to get some counseling from a licensed counselor, we do have this office available for our students. So super, super awesome. We also have a Canyon Health and Wellness Clinic, and this allows students to actually utilize the clinic on campus. It's kind of like an urgent care. So they do process insurance, and whatever your copay is through your insurance, we can go through that. But let's say you want to get a regular biometric screening done, or if you would like to just see if you can get some prescriptions, whatever it may be, you just need to use the urgent care you can utilize for these services. and they're run by nurse practitioners on our campus. A lot of our students are from out of state, and a lot of them are moving away from home, so this comes really handy if students are living on campus. These are all the dorms and apartments that we currently have. It's super, super awesome to see how large these our campus has gotten. I graduated back in 2019, which is only about 4 years ago. I would say like I honestly don't remember about a quarter of these apartments. I think they've been built throughout the last 4 years, and they're really new, and it's continuing to grow. So many students want to live on campus and get that on campus housing experience. So it's definitely growing, lots of apartments, lots of dorm options. And this is the map of our campus. Yeah, there are so many courtyards. So if you guys have any students that love going to the soccer field, love going to play basketball, we have so many gyms and pools on campus as well. So the purple is all the housing that we offer, and the other buildings are probably our um, student buildings for our colleges. So these are going to be your classrooms. And there are so many different rec centers as well. So you guys can tell your students if you are wanting to get involved in club sports or just fun sports, intramural sports. We do offer for that for our students, and lots of gyms and pools. So lots of things to keep you in shape. So that is our on-campus housing. If you guys have any questions, you can contact your admissions counselor or housing operations. And yeah, so that is concluding our housing. I am going to jump into our scholarship section. So, in order to attend Grand Canyon University, we do have a admissibility requirement, and right now it is at least a 2.8 unweighted GPA. If whatever reason you do fall below that, you can talk to your counselor and we can talk about a process called accepted with specifications. But for regular admissions, we require at least a 2.8 GPA. For scholarship programs, these are the scholarships that we do offer, and they are from Antelope, faculty, dean, provost, president, and chancellor. These are all based on how well you do in your high school career. And this one talks about transfer students. And so basically, if you have a 3.0 GPA when you apply to GCU, you're eligible for $2,550 per academic year. For whatever reason, let's say you fall below the 3.0 GPA, we also have another way for you to be accepted is through a unweighted GPA of a 2.5 plus the ACT or SAT score. So let's say you have a 2.5 GPA, but you have a 19 on the ACT, we will actually honor you for the Antelope scholarship even though you don't have the 3.0. And the GPA goes higher, the higher the scholarship. Let's say you have a 2.5 GPA and you have a 31 on your ACT, we will still honor you the President's Scholarship. You don't have to do the ACT or SAT if you do just have one of these GPAs and you would like to stick with it. You can just be admissible and scholarship eligible with these amounts. However, if you have like a 3.0 GPA and you feel like you would score higher in either the ACT or SAT, there are students who do take it just to supplement it and see if they can bump their scholarship table. So this is the high school academic scholarship program. And I think we have Concepcion on the line. If she wants to kind of go over transfer student scholarship program, I have my screen.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joy. If you could just leave that on the screen, that would be amazing. Just so that way, if anyone wants to take a snapshot of that, it's available. But yeah, so my name is Conception Lara. I go by Connie for short. So essentially, I am the indirect counselor. So what that means is I work with transfer students for specifically Rio Salado College as well as Scottsdale Community Colleges. So so essentially, automatically, if a student is looking into a scholarship opportunity and they're admissible into GCU and they've completed at least 60 credits, which is equivalent to an associate's degree, the associate's degree is not required. But as long as they have completed at least 60 credits, they can automatically be eligible for the transfer scholarship, which is $1,000. Another scholarship that is oftentimes available that a lot of students are not aware about is the Phi Theta Kappa Scholarship, which Phi Theta Kappa is an honor society. Typically, if you're in the 3.75 range or higher, you can be eligible to apply for membership. Depending on the community college that you're attending, membership fees are going to vary, but I have heard some membership fees being as low as $50 to maybe $75, $80. You only pay it one time, and that allows you to be a member of Phi Theta Kappa. There are typically like meetings and things like that at each community college, but basically the whole idea is that once you're a part of this Phi Theta Kappa, is that you qualify for an additional scholarship, you know, opportunities in general. But with Grand Canyon University, it's going to be $1,000 as well. So if you think in terms of 60 credit transfer, that's $1,000, and then stacked with a Phi Theta Kappa scholarship, that's another $1,000, and then whatever, you know, bracket that students fall under in regards to this chart here, it will give you the amount that they qualify for according to, you know, the GPA. There are additional scholarships that are available, but those are going to be scholarships that you have to apply for. Those aren't going to be just general GCU university awarded scholarships. My apologies for noise in the background. I just want to let you know my landscapers are here. So if you like hear landscaping machinery in the background, my apologies. It's really loud. I didn't think it was going to be this loud, but I just want to apologize ahead of time. So so basically, yeah. So there's going to be several scholarships that these ones that I specifically mentioned are scholarships that you do not have to apply for. So it's nice because GCU awarded scholarships are going to be awarded just because the student meets a GPA. They're a member of Phi Theta Kappa and they're transferring from, you know, Maricopa Community College with at least the 60 credits. So, I mean, there, like I said, there's going to be additional options for more scholarships, but those are going to be scholarships that you have to actually apply for. So, let's see. Joy, can you think of anything that I might have missed or left out?
Yeah, so I was going to talk about tribal benefits. So I know that this is going to be the Salt River um, Indian community. So if you guys are wanting to utilize any tribal benefits, those are considered outside scholarships, but those can actually significantly help the cost of tuition. So if you guys have any students that are a registered member of a Native American tribe, I'm sure that you guys kind of help with students on where to locate that scholarship. But if you guys have any students who are in high school looking for college options and don't know about the scholarship opportunity, GCU will work with the student so that we can get that on file. So that is definitely something that I tell my students to do. And we do have something called the Leo Foundation, which is also an outside foundation, but is partnered closely with GCU. That is considered an outside scholarship resource. So we do have those links for students if they fall in any of those categories, whether they're a business student, they're an athlete, or any scholarships like that. I would recommend looking into those. I encourage my students as high schools to definitely look at scholarships starting their freshman year. That can really help them alleviate a lot of the thoughts of, you know, am I going to be able to afford college? But yeah, so I definitely work closely with students who have tribal benefits and utilize higher education scholarships. So definitely have our students be on the lookout for that as well as their deadlines. But yeah, anything else you'd like to add?
I think as far as scholarship opportunities, I think we covered,
Awesome.
everything, like, I mean, like we mentioned earlier, there's going to be, additional outside scholarships, but those are not GCU awarded scholarships. So students do have to apply for them. And, essentially, you want to start applying for them like a year ahead of time, right?
Mhm.
So, well, of course, a year before they plan on actually attending. So yeah, I mean, as far as the GC awarded scholarships, this chart's probably going to be the best, you know, the best thing to get a good idea of what that would look like for students that are coming in as transfer students.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Conception. This is going to be the award a scholarship table for this year. So they do update every single year. So depending on if students are wanting to attend next year, there might be a couple of changes. So I would definitely talk to the university counselor or check our website on campus or on our website for GCU to get the most updated scholarship table. But yeah, so this is that presentation. Thank you guys so much for having us. I believe Scott is going to go over some ways to utilize financial aid and talk about loan forgiveness. So thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Scott McIntosh. I serve in the online division of Grand Canyon University. So most of my students are career individuals, typically working in behavioral health, social services, education, law enforcement, nursing, and healthcare. So quite a wide range of students. Um, Typically, they are pursuing or completing a bachelor's degree, a master degree, or a doctoral degree. So part of what I'm going to talk about today really is the best way to manage the cost of your education by wisely using financial aid as well as outside scholarship opportunities and Grand Canyon University scholarship opportunities. So I'm going to share my screen with you for a moment. All right, if someone will confirm that you can see the presentation. No. Okay, one moment, please. All right, are you able to see the presentation now? Excellent. Okay, I'm gonna try and get it to share as a complete presentation. Are you able to see a single page or are you seeing multiple? Okay, excellent. So what we're going to be looking at today is really the degree cost management. Not everyone is eligible for their higher education scholarship. They may need to use a combination of a higher ed scholarship and financial aid or utilize financial aid solely. So what I'm going to be talking about today is how to use financial aid, scholarships, tuition reimbursement, private student loan options, as well as reducing the amount of college courses that you need to be taking in your degree by pursuing alternative college credits and community college. Talking about financial aid. So if you are applying to your higher education scholarship through Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian Community, you are, as part of that application process, asked to apply for the FAFSA. In the FAFSA, or free application for federal student aid, financial aid in the form of Pell Grant or student loans is based on the eligibility of the student's taxable income or their parents, depending on what age they are. Pell Grants is money that is gifted to the student by the federal government. Typically, Pell Grants are paying for the first 2 years of college. That's normal. And the Pell Grant is money that the student does not have to pay back to the federal government when they are completing those courses. Student loans, federal student loans for an undergraduate degree are at a 4.99% interest rate at this time. And what that means is that as you are completing your courses, you are utilizing financial aid that pays for the year of classes. And upon completion of your degree program, you would pay back what you have borrowed at a 4.99% interest rate. And I'm going to show you an example of what that looks like. It is important that you realize that the greatest financial damage that a student can create for themselves is when they borrow more money than the actual cost of the degree program. A lot of times we see students who are borrowing the amount of their education and then accepting a stipend check, which comes beyond the cost of the education. The student receives a check in the mail from the university because the student has asked to borrow more than the cost of the education. Sometimes this is used for education costs like buying a computer for school or commuting, sometimes living expenses. But quite often, students are borrowing that money, accepting that check, and are making an assumption that it's free money. It is not. It is a student loan. So talk with your education counselor about wisely using financial aid, especially when you're pursuing a bachelor's degree, because at some point, if you are borrowing additional money beyond the cost of your education, you can run out of financial aid, and then you would need to pay for your degree out of pocket. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. I do want to reference that at a graduate level, master degree or doctorate, you are only using student loans. That's the way that financial aid is set up. The federal government assumes that as an undergraduate student, you probably need some help with the Pell Grant or gifted money to afford the cost of your education. And there's an assumption that when you have achieved your bachelor's degree, you have gone on into a career. And if you are going to pursue a master's degree or a doctorate, that you can probably afford your education, maybe not immediately out of pocket. So the federal government is willing to loan you student loans to pay for the cost of your education while you're in school. And then upon completion, you are paying back those student loans. At the graduate level, the interest rate is 6.54%. I'm going to show you an example here of an undergraduate financial aid use for a bachelor's degree having 0 college credits. This is showing you the complete cost of your education by academic year. So AY stands for academic year, and that is what the student is borrowing. And this is an online degree example. The student is borrowing this amount of money to pay for each academic year that they are attending their degree program. And again, I do want to reference that this example is of a student who has no college credits that they are transferring to the university. So this shows you the complete cost of your degree program all the way through your education. I also have listed here the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian Community GCU scholarship for the online degree programs, which is reducing the overall tuition 10%. I would like to show you here what it looks like when a student is on the left side borrowing exactly the cost of their education wisely and what their student loan payments would look like annually, or I'm sorry, monthly after they've completed their degree program. On the right is an example of a student who has borrowed beyond the actual cost of their education using all of the financial aid available to them. And that is showing you the amount of payment that they are making on a monthly basis. What's important about looking at using financial aid wisely and poorly is that when you have graduated from the university, about 60 days after you've completed your degree program, you're going to begin making student loan payments. So, thinking about the type of job that you are going to be getting, looking at the salary for that particular job or that job field, you
Scott,
can go on. Yes,
excuse me, I'm so sorry. Can you enlarge the examples?
I'm trying to. I apologize.
No, that's okay. So at the
Let,
bottom,
yeah,
you see the little,
yeah, the bar.
yeah, if you could zoom in. I don't know if that helps or,
Yes. Is that
okay,
better?
thank you.
I
Yes,
apologize.
that's okay.
Thank, thank you. Thank you for calling that to my attention. So here, going back and referencing responsible borrowing for this bachelor degree program, the student is borrowing a loan amount of $17,065 because based on their eligibility, this particular example, they are also eligible for Pell Grant. So Pell Grant is paying for a large portion of the degree program, and the student would have a student loan payment after they've graduated of $182.83 a month over a 10-year period. Paying back that student loan would be $21,939.66 because of the interest rate of 4.99%. On the right, this student example, they're borrowing unwisely. They're borrowing beyond the cost of their education. And you can see that this student's loans total at $34,132, meaning that they are going to have a $365 a month payment and will pay back to the federal government $43,881.70. That is not smart. There's a big difference between those two monthly payments. That's a very expensive car payment. So you want to use wisely, only borrow the cost of your education. Showing you the example of a master degree. This example is a master degree that has 38 credit hours that are being completed in the degree. Typically, this degree would take about 2 years to complete. The total cost of the degree program in student loans, your total cost of the degree before scholarship is $25,720. The scholarship is impacting $2,432 tuition reduction, and the student ends up paying $23,288 for the cost of the degree program, which if you are borrowing from the federal government, that cost is being paid by the federal government through financial aid, And then upon completion of this degree program, the student has a $267.70 a month monthly payment over a 10-year period, would be paying back $32,124. And here on the right, you can see that this student who borrowed beyond the cost of their education now has a $527.98 a month payment. So again, we strongly encourage and we walk each student through this cost calculation so that you're using financial aid wisely to advance your career, but also managing your cost over time. Looking at scholarship opportunities. So for Native American students, if you are eligible for your higher education scholarship, you're utilizing a resource that your tribe has set aside for you to be able to afford the cost of your education. Not every tribe, nation, or pueblo is able to assist with full tuition. So we recommend that students look at outside scholarship opportunities to further reduce the cost of your education. These three scholarships that you're looking at, the indianaffairs.org is a general site that is going to show you multiple scholarship opportunities. Native Forward assists significantly with bachelor's, master's, some doctoral degrees. Cobell Scholarship also assists bachelor, master's, and doctorate. And then here are some additional scholarship resources. When you are applying for outside scholarships, it's very important that you look at the calendar for that scholarship group and that you consistently apply for those scholarships throughout your degree, making sure that you are applying each academic year. I have had some students who, I'll give an example, a gentleman whose tribe was able to contribute $2,000 scholarship each academic year toward the cost of their education. This student maximized all of the scholarships that are outside of their tribe, all of the scholarships that are outside of the university, and graduated with zero student loan debt in their bachelor's degree and a master's degree. So if you use this wisely, you can manage your costs very, very well. Additional scholarship opportunities, not specific to Native Americans. These opportunities that I'm showing you are websites where you can go in and filter based on your degree program, what state you live in, your ethnic background, your financial status, your married status, and so forth. These websites will filter out scholarship opportunities that may be a benefit to you. There are, again, specific dates that you're going to need to be applying, and some of them may be limited on the amount of scholarships that are being offered. So you want to make sure that you are timely in submitting your application to these scholarships. One recommendation I make: do not put your website or your information, your personal information, into these websites, because you are going to be bombarded with multiple colleges calling you, asking if you want to attend their school. And you want to make sure that if you are looking at these websites, apply directly to the scholarship agency that is listed on that website, not the website, but directly to the agency that is providing those scholarship opportunities. It's important to ask your college, if it's GCU or other, you want to ask about ground campus scholarships as well as online scholarship opportunities through the college, and also ask them if they have knowledge of outside scholarships that you can pursue. For the career individual, typically my student who's an online student, a person who is working should be asking their employer about tuition reimbursement. What this student is typically doing is using financial aid to pay for the cost of their education so that they know that financial aid is going to be paying for the degree, but they are asking their employer, do you provide any type of financial tuition reimbursement that I can get because I'm an employee? Sometimes that is $2,000 a year that the student should immediately pay down their financial aid. Sometimes that can be up to $50,000 for the cost of a degree program. The student, again, who's using tuition reimbursement should immediately take that money and pay off their student loans so that when you graduate, you have the least amount of student loan debt. Again, the way that you find out about tuition reimbursement is asking your employer by reviewing your employee manual to look at employee benefits. You can ask your human resource manager if your company pays for tuition reimbursement, or if you're looking at your company, current company, or even company that you might be applying to, you can Google the company name, tuition reimbursement, and PDF in your Google search. Typically, this will bring up any company's tuition reimbursement policy. It also may bring up their other benefits that they offer so that you're making a wise choice about the company you're pursuing. Tuition reimbursement, as I mentioned, can range from $2,000 up to $50,000, sometimes more, depending on the company. And when a student is using annual tuition reimbursement with their company, talk with us about taking breaks in between your classes so that you carry over into the next tuition reimbursement year. An example of this, a lot of times nurses will do this. They may have 11 classes to take, which is going to take a year and a half. And if they take breaks in between some of their classes, they can maximize 2 full years of tuition reimbursement toward the cost of their education. And again, talk with your counselor about this and look to schedule your classes accordingly. If you are not eligible for the financial aid through the FAFSA, or if you have overused your financial aid and you still are wanting to continue your education, take a look at private student loans. Private student loans are through banks or agencies that are willing to loan you student loan money to continue your education. Here are some good examples. There is an application process. You may be required to have a co-signer, someone who can vouch for you, and also someone who is willing to accept part of that debt if you don't make your student loan payments. I do want to point out peointernational.org. It's called Philanthropic Educational Organization. This is specific to women. They provide scholarships to women. They also provide private student loans to women at a 2% interest rate. So consider this. If you are looking at financial aid, whether you're considering the FAFSA or private loans, 2% is much less than the 4.99% of a bachelor's degree or the 5.67 at a master's degree level. So making an education decision is also a financial decision. Choose wisely. I also want to talk about ways to reduce the amount of classes that you're needing to take at a university and overall reducing your costs. On average, just as a number, courses at GCU online are right around $2,000 per class. We strongly encourage that students take alternative college credits or community college courses, which are going to be much less expensive, and then transfer those classes into the university. GCU has a transfer credit guide, and I've listed the site here, where you can go in if you're looking at a degree program, say Bachelor of Science in Applied Management, as an example. You can go into this transfer guide and you can see what classes you could take at a community college or as alternative college courses that would transfer into GCU at a cost per class of about $100. Why would you not take alternative college courses at $100 instead of $200 at our university? It's not that we don't want you to be a full-time, all the time student with us all the way through. We want to make sure that you are managing your costs and that you have less student loans when you graduate. The next example here is college level exam prep. This is an online option. The courses are about $100 for the first test that you take or first class. And the second class, at times, they offer it at $45. So for $145, I could transfer 2 college courses that into a university, GCU or other, and it would have only cost me $145 instead of about $4,000. This is a smart way to afford the cost of your education and also shorten the time of your graduation from a university. Straighter Line is another example of an alternative college course. They also provide general education courses as well as some upper division courses in majors like nursing. Sophia Learning is another good option. GCU has a scholarship or reduced tuition with Sophia Learning. And then community college. I myself attended community college for a year and a half, which saved me money in the long run. And I was able to transfer for myself. I transferred 52 credit hours into a 120 credit college degree. Some courses, some degree programs, you might be able to transfer up to 84 credit hours into a university. And by the pricing that I've already given you, you're significantly saving money overall. What is important is if you're going to look at alternative college courses or community college courses that you want to transfer into the university of your choice, make sure that you have received a course list for your degree program from the four-year university and that you're talking with your guidance counselor at the community college or with the alternative college to make sure that you're taking the right classes. The last thing you want to do is spend time and money and not be able to transfer credits. You can always call us and ask questions, and we will guide you on the courses that would transfer to the university. If you are considering an online degree at GCU, those degree programs are one class at a time. They typically take about 8 weeks to complete a class, and you're going to spend about 15 hours of your time a week at a time of day that's best for you doing your studies. And the online degree programs are specifically set up so that you can work while you're attending college. Thank you for taking a moment to allow me to share with you about wisely using financial aid, utilizing scholarship opportunities that are outside of the university that you're attending, and also looking at how to transfer college credits into a university so that you're saving yourself money and potentially time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Scott and Joy and Concepcion. Thank you so much for all of this really wonderful information. We appreciate you being here, and this was a lot of information. Some of it's pretty new. Thank you. The dorms, or what are we calling them? Residence halls, apartments, all of that looks really great. Fantastic information. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone on our call right now have any questions? It was pretty thorough. Okay. Great information. Yes, I agree. Thank you, Tate. Fantastic information, everyone. That brings our First Friday chat for the month of April to a close. So if we don't have any questions, just so that anyone watching this right now, this is, well, let's see, today is the 14th of April. So our First Friday chat happened today on Friday, April 14th. We are going to post it on our YouTube page, our Salt River Schools YouTube page. It'll likely be posted sometime next week with a recording and added notes. And if anyone has any questions or needs any information, you have the contact information from our guest speakers today. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend. And please join us next month for our First Friday chat. It'll be the first Friday of the month, unlike this month because we were off last week. But thank you all again so much for joining us. We hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.